They say it's a big rich town. Well, I just come from the poorest part. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make it. What's up, y'all? This is Ty. I know some of y'all get tired of me singing the theme song week after week after week. But this is what people want me to do. I get messages all the time telling me to keep singing it. I was going to stop singing it, but they tell me to keep singing Big Rich Town. So that's what I do. Anyway, I am here to review the 10th episode of the 6th season of Power. You know I call it Big Rich Town. This is the 10th episode. This is the 6th and final season, titled The Final Portrayal. And tonight's episode is No One Can Stop Me, which is a great title because Ghost, a.k.a. James St. Patrick, is feeling unstoppable. So the episode kicks off with him. Oh, and this is also the mid-season finale. The episode kicks off with Ghost pleading to his son. He leaves a voicemail for Tariq, telling him to come over, son, because you know, as we saw in the last episode, Tariq was that last scene, which was powerful between the two of them, but Tariq was very disrespectful to his father, extremely disrespectful. Wanted to punch him in the face myself, but I understood where he was coming from at the same time, but he was very disrespectful. Much hasn't changed, but anyway, Ghost is trying to get him to make amends tonight, and tonight's episode is really, truly all about Ghost's victory, because he is going to run for lieutenant governor. He gets the call from Ramona. He sees the information, the news that mentions it on New York One, and he's just doing it. He's just doing it up. Lieutenant Governor Ghost. Oh, you talking about a rags to riches story. Going from drug dealer to rich drug dealer to cold-blooded killer to now possibly the lieutenant governor. Cleaning his life around. Cleaning his life up. This is what he wanted to do. He fought long and hard to go clean and be legit. And now he's finally clean and legit. Jason is gone. He's got things are cleared up. He just got a few other things he needs to handle. But the funny thing is, while he's saying this, that this whole ghost stuff is gone, and he's just going to be James St. Patrick and doing all these things in honor of his daughter. In reality, Ghost is still very much present. He is still Ghost because the things that he's done are still factors, and it still affected so many people, and so many people are bothered, and so many people are after him, which is what we see in tonight's episode. Yes, indeed. So let's start with law enforcement. We got Detective Blanca, an old disgraced Sachs who lost his job and who was humiliated, and he's desperate. He needs to take down Ghost. He needs to get him for something. Blanca goes over to Warner, her boss, and saying she may have some information that may help. It may help this case along against him. Warner wants nothing to do with it. Warner's like, listen, we tried this before. We can't fail. We have to have something that truly sticks. You're saying you're getting information from the politician. That guy has reasons to lie, because we saw Blanca with Sachs go and coerce confession from a statement rather from Councilman Tate, and Tate is disgusted because Tate wants to take Ghost down because guess what? He done messed up his political career, and he took Ramona. Now Ghost has Ramona. He's going to be running with Walsh, who was Tate's opponent in this race. So he has this motive. He needs to take him down. He's disgusted. So he's willing to work with them and help them. And he even says, yes, I know that Ghost was upset about his wife, Tasha, sleeping with the attorney. What was the attorney's name? The one that they just found his body. And how did I forget his name? You see, I'm getting old here, y'all. Come on, y'all. Y'all help me. What's the guy? Terry Silver. Terry Silver is his name. So Tate says, yes, I know that James St. Patrick was very upset about his wife that night. that we were doing the whole QVC project, and he did walk out of here. He was upset when he learned that his wife was messing with Terry Silver. Now we know Tate is just doing this because he wants his revenge, because like I said, his campaign is just going downhill. Ghost is climbing. In this episode, we see that Ghost meets with Ramona and Walsh, his possible running mate, and they're discussing their plans, and they find out that he no longer has the Queen's project. He no longer has that property, and she tells him, listen, if you don't have that property, I can't run with you. You got to have some property. That was a key thing. That was very vital. So what does Ghost do? He goes to the old neighborhood and he meets Uncle Gabe. And when they showed that scene of him with this old man in the bar, I was like, oh, look, it's the Colonel. Y'all remember the Colonel from A Different World? Listen, I'm a TV head. When I see characters I know from, it's the Colonel from A Different World. So I'm like, look at him. So, but on this show, he's playing Uncle Gabe. And apparently he is Ghost's, the brother of Ghost's late father, who we get a little bit of backstory. The father was apparently killed while trying to report on drug dealers that were in the neighborhood. But now, here's the funny thing. Uncle Gabe plays it off like he doesn't recognize him at first. But then this is something I have a question. He said, I didn't know that was you, Jamie. But then he goes on to say, where you been and what you been, really, where you been, what happened to you and all that. And he said, oh, I ended up moving with Tommy. Okay, aren't y'all all still in New York? And Uncle Gabe, do you not have a television? Did you not see your nephew on trial for the murder of a police officer or FBI agent a few seasons back? Did you not see your nephew on the news about running and being with these politicians, and now him this whole lieutenant governor thing? But anyway, it's TV, so I'll give y'all a pass. But I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, Uncle Gabe, what's going on? Maybe Uncle Gabe is see now, because he should have known where Jamie was. Like, come on, that I'm not buying that. But okay, we're gonna give that a pass. So anyway, James St. Patrick's, aka Ghost, convinces Uncle Gabe that he's going to, to sell this property to him. So now look, that's a victory for him. He has some property. Ramona's happy about it. We see him, he done moved up on Ramona. He done pushed up on her. He kissed Ramona, telling her how he feels about her, and she's happy because this is going to make things work. This is going. So victory. So we got property. His background check cleared. He's the town hero now. Here comes a visit from the first ghost he sees in this episode. Ghost seeing ghosts. Funny. I'm like, what is this? An episode of A Christmas Carol with Scrooge and you being visited by the ghost of the past? So we see him being visited by Angela, and she's telling him, I see you found new love and you can let me go and you can move on, this, that, and the third. That's one of 3 ghosts that he sees in this episode. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. All right, yes. So, what happened after that? Let's see. Checking my notes here. Blanca Rodriguez, Sachs, and Warner. That whole thing is just crazy. Warner is disgusted because he's saying, you got to bring me some true, real good evidence here. Somehow, they get this quick warrant, this quick, sneaky, I guess, this quick warrant they do where they can look at stuff but then put stuff back. A quick sweep where they go in and they don't touch stuff and they just get in there and get what they can. And Blanca goes in there, she matches up the dirt from the site to the dirt also found in Silver's car. So she's trying to tie in the whole Silver murder to Ghost. She also finds the cell phone, which was planted by Sachs. So when she takes this to Warner, Warner's like, this is stupid. You want me to believe that this man who is a calculated criminal, calculated killer, is dumb enough to leave the cell phone of a person he killed in a hotel. This doesn't make sense. But he says, but who planted this? And he immediately believes it is none other than Sax. So now Sax is in more trouble. So we see this conversation between Sax, Warner, and they have Tamika there representing him, and he's telling Sax, listen, you're going down, tampering with evidence, doing all this foolishness. And then meanwhile, when saying this, Blanca even admits that she was working with Sax, and Warner says, you know, you're messing up. And he's like, you know, Tamika tries to convince them that, listen, you can still try to go for something. You can still try to get this guy. You can still try to get James St. Patrick instead of trying to go after Sax. But, you know, that all didn't work. All the evidence they had, the judge still didn't feel like it was strong enough to pull up a case against you know who. Pull up a case against Ghost. So Rodriguez also runs to Dre. Oh, before I go into that, we see Dre meet up with Ghost. Ghost thought he was meeting up with his son, Tariq. But in actuality, Tariq brings Dre. Now I'm upset because I'm like, when are they going to kill Dre? Because y'all know I'm sick of Dre. I hate Dre. But this dude has more than 9 lives. He just keeps surviving. So anyway, he's telling Ghost, you set me up, this, that, and the third. And he's telling him, listen, I need to get out of town. I know you set me up for the murder of Jason, but I need to get out of town. And he tells him he needs $250,000. And Ghost is like, listen, I'll help you. But the crazy thing is, like I'm telling you, this episode, Ghost is letting people have it. He is telling people how he truly feels. Now that he is clean and legit, he is telling these people how he feels and leaving them behind. He calls Dre a helpless little bitch. And that, you know, of course I'll help you, you're worthless. He just thinks Dre is nothing. So he tells him, meet me over at such and such, and I'll give you the $250,000 so you can get on out of town. But what he does, in true Ghost fashion, is he has the surveillance pulled so he can show the cops that Dre went to that building and made it look like Dre killed Jason. So he caught him again, so Dre's arrested. So now I'm like, wow, yes, finally. So I guess Dre's going to get his in jail. And so we see Ghost calling, reaches out to Vincent, and Vincent does a favor for him. Now, mind you, this is what's funny with Mr. James St. Patrick, a.k.a. Ghost. He's claiming he's clean and going legit, but he doesn't realize that he's still that dude. He's still Ghost, because look at the stuff he's doing in this episode. He's got Vincent hemmed up at gunpoint, and he asks Vincent for a favor, tells Vincent, listen, get a phone in the jail for me, makes a phone call in the jail to Tommy's people and asks them for a favor. You know what that favor is. He wants them to kill Dre. So you're not completely clean. You're still doing things. You frame Dre. You're still doing things. You're still Ghost. To me, you will always be Ghost. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to James St. Patrick's visiting his daughter's grave, Raina's grave, telling her all the things that he's accomplished and the things that he's achieved. And he runs into his wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife, Tasha, there. And she tells him he is out of his mind trying to run for governor. Now, she's never believed in his dreams anyway, but now she's like, you're really out of your mind, because all this is going to do is bring more attention on you and dig into you. And he's like, listen, my background check came out clean. And he lets her have it. I'm telling you, he's ripping people up tonight. He tells her, I release you as my wife. I've moved on. I'm sorry things didn't work out. I'm moving on. You can go. Hit the road, sister. He's like, I'm moving on. He told her about, you and your little raggedy, you need to straighten it out. I might be able to help you. You and your little raggedy, drug dealing, druggy baby daycare center. I was like, wow, he was wilding out. He was letting people know how he really feels. In another conversation he has with her, he tells her that he wants Tariq to turn himself into the feds. And this really pisses her off because he tells her, he says, listen, maybe he can confess. We could get him a good lawyer, get him a good deal. And with me being on the other side of the law now, I could really help him. She's disgusted by this. She tells him she never wants to see him again. Wow. I mean, he really, he let her have it. Then we see he had a conversation with Tommy. I'm going all out of order. I'm just going by things that caught me. He had a conversation with Tommy. They're saying they'll forever be brothers. And Tommy tells him he knows that he didn't kill Lakeisha or whatever. But he tells Tommy, listen, I'm done. I'm out of this. I'm leaving you behind. And Tommy's like, you can't leave me behind. I have nothing. And he basically tells Tommy, you have nothing because of you. And he tells him, he says, even in your sorrow and in your pain, you still need me. You need me even to feel helpless. You need me. Like, he was not playing with these people in this episode. He was really telling people how he felt. And that left Tommy pissed off. And then in the midst of their conversation, somebody starts shooting at them. I want to know who that was. And we see, they doing this little shootout. And then when he goes to help Tommy, somebody's laying on the ground. Who was that? Somebody tell me in the comment section. Who were those people? All right. What else happened in this episode? Angela's sister pays Ghost a visit. And she wants to know if he'll tell her who killed Angela. And of course he doesn't tell her. But he kind of lets her down gently. He said, I can't tell you. I wish I could. I feel your pain. But I really can't tell you because I don't know. And Ramona overhears this and she's like, oh, you let her down easily. And I'm like, Ramona, you're a fool because you really don't know who you're dealing with. You really don't know who you are falling in love with. It's crazy. And we see that Ghost is visited by his daughter, Raina. Another ghost. I mean, him with these ghosts, that's it. Is he going crazy? He's visited by his late daughter, Raina, and she's telling him, asking him, why does him and her mother always argue? Then he asks her, do you think it's right for me to want Tariq to turn himself in? She says, listen, I made mistakes. He made mistakes. I think you should. So he's like battling himself in this episode. He's seeing all these dead people. They're telling him certain things. We even see him. He's visited by Kanan, who Kanan pretty much, the ghost of Kanan, pretty much tells him, you're a killer. You're no good just like me. You deserve to be in the electric chair, gas chamber, whatever. You are the scum of the earth, basically, just like I am. This whole politician thing, no, that's not who you are. That's not what you are. No. Wow. I was like, this was an interesting episode because I was like, where are they going with this? I felt like, is Ghost going crazy? He's struggling with his two personalities. He's struggling with the ghost that he is, that he's trying to get away from, and he's struggling with this whole clean life that he wants to leave. He's lying to himself, basically. But my favorite of all was when he told Councilman Tate that Councilman Tate will never win, that he can't win, that he's a loser. I mean, he just ripped him a new one. I mean, he just hurt so many people with his words in tonight's episode. Just so many people with his words. So there he is, Mr. St. Patrick's, throwing this big lavish party because I'm sorry, before I go into that, the conversation with him and his son, Tariq, where he tells his son that he wants him to confess. And Tariq is still disrespectful and still disgusted. And he said, you know what? You lied. You told me you would take the blame for me. You would cover for me. And look what you're doing now. And he's like, this is best for the family. And Tariq is like, no, this is what is best for you. Another powerful scene between father and son. So we get the news from law enforcement that the judge is not going to Try, Mr. St. Patrick. There's nothing anybody can do. Blanca lets Tate know. Blanca lets Pax, which is Angela's sister, lets her know there's nothing they can do. Sax is informed that he's going down, that he's about to go to jail. And he's like, wait a minute, I'm going to jail and he's going to become lieutenant governor. So we see Sax pull out a gun, and I'm thinking, is he going to kill himself? But no, he doesn't. We see him pulling out a gun and looking upset. So I'm like, okay, he's about to head off to Truth nightclub. We see Sax. Then they show a scene of Angela's sister with her. Looked like she had a gun. She's going somewhere. But then we see Tariq walking down the stairs. Oh, and we see Dre, who at a last minute attempt, because he's arrested, has made a deal with Blanca because he knows he's going to get killed in jail. He's like, get me out of here. I can help you and confess to saying that I saw James St. Patrick kill Silver. So he makes that kind of deal. So we see Dre getting ready, which I'm like, Dre just has 9 lives. We see Dre getting ready to looks like go after Ghost. We see Tommy going after Ghost. We see Tate going after Ghost. We see Sax. Everybody. Tasha, Tariq. And I'm like, what's going on here? And then we see Ghost, at Club Truth, closing up shop, sharply dressed. And then, pow! He's shot, and it's this dramatic slow-mo fall. And the theme song to Power is playing. They say it's a big, rich town. I just come from the poorest part. I said, oh, they're going to do one of those Who Shot JR things. Y'all remember that from Dallas? Don't act like I'm the only one that remember that. They're doing a Who Shot JR. This time it's Who Shot Ghost. So that's where it leaves us, this cliffhanger. We got to figure out who shot Ghost. Is Ghost dead? Really decent episode. Now we gotta wait until January for the remaining episodes. There's so many rumors out, so many things going on. People are saying that there's going to be a spin-off show about the young Ghost. Then they're saying it's going to be something called Power 2. I don't know who's going to spin off in that. Who knows? Do you guys? What do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be who's going to be in this spin-off? I had made a joke with my friend. I said Dre is going to get the spin-off since he seems to keep living. Dre's going to get a spin-off where he moves down south to live with his grandmother Medea, and it's going to be a comedy, not on Starz but on TBS. So stupid. That's just a joke, bad joke. But anyway. Tell me your thoughts. How do you like this mid-season finale? What do you think is going to happen? Is Ghost dead? Who shot him? Who killed him? What's going on? We have to wait until January to find out the rest of this when it concludes this 6th and final season. How are you feeling about this season? Because a lot of my friends are a little upset with this season. But I think, they wanted to change things up because this is the final season. So a lot of things are happening. And that's why. There's a lot going on because it's the final season and trying to tie things up and close things off. So again, please like, comment, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts below. And who do you think deserves a spinoff? I would like to see a prequel, maybe. But I also said I wanted to see a show with Tate as this corrupt politician, a show about the corrupt politicians. That might be cool, We'll see, that their spin on that. I thought that would be interesting, but we'll see. Time will tell. That's it for now. Thank you for watching, and you be blessed. I'm out. I gotta go. Gotta get into bed. Brother gotta work in the morning. Be blessed. Gotta go. Love you.